Afternoon. Now, this video documentation is in regards to the Return 211 E-Class 211 chassis headlight set. Appreciate you safely packing these headlights. Just want to show you the return box so that making sure that it is the one that you return. Also, appreciate your help kind of leaving little minor post-it notes in regards to each headlight side mentioning what was your reported concerns. So, actually, I had the time to review your return headlights with my return inspector and also mechanic. The great news is actually the passenger right side. I understand you mentioned something about the high beam not working, but everything checks out fine in terms of signal lights, high beam, parking lights, and also low beam. So I'll be actually bench testing that for you, but right now I just want to mainly focus on the concern, which is the driver left headlight side. I understand you already reported about the broken piece for the auto leveling joint, which is no problem about that. So my main concern that at this point, and actually makes sense why you're having a signal light issue, is mainly being the case the main connector signal light pin has been actually pushed back all the way to the point that it's literally you can no longer see it anymore. So that being said, it's actually the signal light pin is going to be the one furthest to your right. So that makes sense to me that if this was pushed back, that when you're connecting your main connector into it, that you won't have contact with that signal light pin. So this being said, I do understand that you had some other concerns with the lights, but besides the signal lights, I'm confirming with you that everything else on this headlight side works, which is the driver left side. So I'll go ahead and run the bench testing right now for you. No, my grounding negative is the furthest pin to my left.
Thank you so much for that. So I do see here the tire pressure monitor sensors. You purchased two of them.
Alright.
There's two transactions.
So I'm going to go ahead and signal light. I can't bench test because the pin's all the way back, but at least with the low beam, you can see that it's working with no issues. Alright, that's low beam. So moving on, I'm going to test the high beam for you. Hopefully you can probably see it projected up against the wall, but high beam. That's manually bench testing from the main connector from its pin. And I do see that both pins are intact and none of them were pushed back. So the last thing I'm going to go ahead and test.
However, what I'm going to go ahead and do is, since I see the two transactions,
parking lights. So I'm testing from the bench test unit, which I'll probably have a better time checking that right here. There you go, parking lights. So the driver left, everything works but the signal lights, which I acknowledge, which I'll be working with my vendor if you can give me a little bit more time to file the warranty report to have this driver left side exchanged for a brand new side. So moving on to the passenger right side. Alright. Okay. I've only opened the cap just to check on the inner housing. Everything seems to be in order, so I'll go ahead and with the bench testing. One more time. And then my grounding negative should be right here.
Say that the seller does refund today. I don't know how long it's going to take it to reflect in your transaction. Does that make
So
sense?
one more time. This should be my signal light. So you see signal light working, no issue. Next, low beam. You see low beam working with no issues. This is all tested from the main connector, and I don't see any of the pins pushed back for the passenger right side, and all of them seem to be aligned. So main connector already tested with no issue. I'll go ahead and move on to the high beam for this side, which you reported that it wasn't working. Again, high beam, the pins seem all aligned, none of them pushed back, so I have confidence that when I bench tested, I have no issues powering it on. So one more time, I ground my negative, positive. As soon as I hit it, you should see the high beam come on. So again, you'll see it projected on the wall right there. High beam, high beam, high beam, high beam. Working with no issues. So moving on lastly to the parking lights. Let's go ahead and test that too as well. Ground my negative. Alright, parking lights working. I'll turn around the headlights just so that you have a better visual view.
So I'll go ahead, let the seller know.
So for what is it? City light. The parking light's working with no issues. One more time. So one more time. The passenger right side, I bench tested the low beam, high beam, parking lights, signal lights with no issues. All the pins seem aligned, none of them pushed back. So I'm indeed confirming with you that my vendor wishes to kind of ship this back to you, being the case everything seems in order with nothing not working. So again, what I want to tell you is that I'll be filing a warranty claim for the driver left side. However, for the passenger right side, please expect to receive the same side, but we'll go ahead and double check to make sure the inner housing is solid, nothing's broken, safely packed, and returned to you. So again, I'll be working with my vendor to have this side, the driver left, which is indeed, I do see the push-in pin exchanged. This concludes the video documentation. Thank you so much for your time.